marriage is about the companionship of two people, and then for them to have a certain goal to achieve a purpose. So, if you ask me, like Vivian was saying, to Adam and Eve from the beginning, what was the essence? Adam had work to do. But God now, when he looked, you see, even he himself, the animals, he created everybody double, and created Adam one. But then,
it wasn't
when he looked into the atmosphere, no companionship. How can you be talking to the animals? And for how long can you talk to them? What now can they, how they respond? What can they even do for you? Nothing. It says that's why the wife is a help meet. You are meeting, help meet, points, help meet.
Meet and be stagnant, or meet and move forward.
Meet and fulfill your purpose. When he created the two of them, I said, be fruitful and multiply. There was work. There was work. So, basically, marriage is good.
What about you? What do you think?
If marriage is about companionship, there are several forms of companionships.
Sure.
Several forms of there's friendship. So, I don't know if it's the word marriage that is a bit too definitive for me.
Should I be naughty?
You can't,
Sure.
you can't be naughty.
How do you guys sex? If you think it's not necessary.
For me, I don't think sex should be confined to marriage.
Okay.
Because
I wanted to ask, why do you think?
I think because if sex was supposed to be confined only to marriage, then ideally, of course, the all-knowing God should have closed up, your vagina is closed up, your penis is inside your abdomen or wherever it's supposed to be, and then when you marry, the penis shoots out, the opening, the portal is open.
So how does a man pee? They are not like us.
Exactly. They are not like us. No, women also pee, but not through the vagina.
Okay, but it's through the same route.
There's an outlet.
Yes, but it's not the vagina.
Okay.
So I don't think marriage is, sex should only be confined to marriage.
Okay.
We all have urges that we want to satisfy. Of course, you can't wait till you are married to because everybody has a breaking point. You have how far you can actually.
I like the word breaking point, but that's
there's how far everybody can contain your edges and your desires and all of that. So if you think, I think marriage is for people who probably want to live a particular life, probably control their edge, but then of late looking at marriage around, I don't think it has ended that so much. Okay. People are married
from the beginning.
Still
It wasn't
sleep with other
supposed
people.
to be like that.
So that's where I
was
wanted
supposed to be
exactly.
for man and wife.
And wife, marriage. So the sex in marriage, it is part of the marriage that God created. When God said Eve should be Adam's helpmate, when they were supposed to be fruitful and multiply, it was through sex. They're supposed to procreate. God did the first creation. The rest he left for man. And the only way to do that was through sex. In the marriage. That is how it has been from beginning. That is how it was. And should always have been. But human as we are.
Decided to do
as Adam fell. We fell ahead of procreation. So I know people say for now, for instance, that marriage is overrated, and if you say so, I'll say, okay, yeah, sex is also overrated, because the truth is that we want to put sex in marriage as if without sex the marriage doesn't function. But marriage goes beyond all of that. Right. You mentioned friendship, and you said when I mentioned companionship, you mentioned friendship. You see, marriage in itself, if your foundation is not based on friendship,
right,
trust me, you don't have a basis.
Crumble, yeah.
You don't have a foundation. It can easily crumble. Because I always tell people that even if the person is your friend, the only reason you are able to manage some of the things is that, I mean, how do you, if you're here with Vivi and Vivi does something to hurt you, you be hurt, you be angry, but with time you get around it, forgive, let go, and you move on. That is friendship.
Right.
So if you don't break that kind of friendship into the marriage, and I think I was telling somebody this morning, when we talk about marriage, the friendship is there, the love is there, but even love, you don't need only the amorous love to be in there. If that's the only thing you need, then all you'll be doing is having sex.
Exactly.
Once that feeling,
but it helps bond better.
It helps bond better, yes. Of course, it's a basis. Just like friendship is a foundation, the amorous is a foundation. But beyond that, you need to make a decision. That is where the agape love comes in. Even if the person offends me to this point, can I forgive, let go, and move on? So that is where.
Then I don't think marriage is anything so special.
So far as God created it special, it is special.
Sometimes I want to take the God factor out of it. Not entirely out.
Yes, let me
but sometimes
explain.
I want to numb the God factor.
Okay, if I numb the God factor for you,
because when the God factor comes in, when the God factor comes in,
it makes it.
And then exactly, it makes it something so
out of
mysterious
place.
and out of place. I understand that fact.
So
but then let's face reality. Okay.
Let me help you with that one. There are people or couples who are married who are not necessarily religious or Christian in any way. However, their marriages are working.
Yes.
Have you thought why? It is
Yes.
because they have all the basics. The friendship is there.
Exactly.
It is a conscious effort because the marriage they know must work. It is there. It's supposed to work. Do or die. So to speak.
When I say marriage, it's what did I say earlier?
You said it was overrated or escalated or
not something like that. But I don't think it's that, because I think marriage is used to define the exclusivity you have with one individual. Okay. Because ideally, if you should look at the whole concept of marriage, when you take maybe childbearing out, the whole concept of marriage is about friendship. And I think marriage in itself is just about exclusivity. Okay. You, one man, one woman, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for me, maybe, of course, I think differently. For me, I think humans as we are and how God made us to be should relate with each and everyone, love everyone, respect everyone, honor everyone, commit to each other. Because even in the Bible, it is written that when Christ came, he said, you've been given so many laws. But then I sum it up in two. Honor God and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? And that alone, if I love you, I would see to your good. If I love you, I'll make sure I don't hurt you. If I hurt you, I'll have to respect you. I apologize. And all of those things sort of are for the foundations of marriage.
Exactly.
So if we live that way, I don't think marriage is really such a...
Like at times you go out, you get stressed, you get tired, someone annoys you, you come back. You want that one person you can vent your anger to.
I am not married.
You want that person you can
but I have people I have that
to
relationship
emotionally.
with. You understand?
And you trust that person so well.
Yes. It's not just one person. I have a couple of people I have that kind of relationship with.
Okay, but
because honestly, I think if you take all of this is part of friendship and stuff. The only thing that makes it so different is the sex and the childbearing aspect.
Okay.
That makes it marriage, really
exclusive.
real. You understand? That makes marriage really,
I would
really
want
real.
that partner I can talk to, I can be crazy with, be religious.
You can do that with a friend.
But there's that innate feeling
to want
when
to
the
be
time
with one
is
particular
right,
person.
to want to be with one particular person of the opposite sex. where that kind of bonding and channeling is there, there's like, you feel like, wow, this is it, I have arrived.
Exactly.
So that innate feeling, you cannot find, it doesn't matter. So have you realized that some girls can be friends for like as long as, guys can be friends as long as, but eventually, even if they decide to delay it, eventually, even if they don't even marry, you realize that some of them begin to get so committed and attached to a particular person, and eventually they will end there if their commitment level is right. So that is something in which you cannot really take out of a person.
I think the word marriage, just the word marriage.
So okay,
sort of like a certification of,
it's just a certification of some sort.
Bonding, of your friendship. I think it creates a lot of bedding.
No, you see,
does it?
It does.
Let me tell you why it does create a lot of bedding. We feel that now. You see, everything that God did and said was good, humans, wiser as we are than the God who created it, we have found ways to circumspect. So we are always having challenges with all of it. Now let me tell you, what was that? There was an example in my mind. Good. When God created Adam and Eve, there was nothing like divorce. But as time went on and the population grew, the Israelites themselves went to their leader Moses with the same issue of, yes, can't we based on adultery leave our wife, and Moses said, God has not granted divorce, but for the hardness of your heart. It's like you're pushing for it. So I would grant it on the basis of adultery. But that same adultery for which you can divorce, when Jesus came, he said that yes, if you can find it in your heart to forgive that person and bond and move on, it would honor God. So it's the human factor we have created around everything and use that human wisdom to get things done. So we are always struggling. Basically, that is it. So unfortunately, everybody sees marriage overrated, sex overrated, everything overrated because we have
to do it in our own way.
And we have put it out there. And
the reason why I am of the view that marriage is not necessary, because when you ask what marriage is about, the kind of feedback you get,
like,
or what the explanation you get many a time, what marriage is about, companionship and childbearing and all blah 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 blah.
Childbearing is in secondary.
Exactly. So if it's about companionship and all of that, you don't necessarily need marriage.
That is why
you don't necessarily need an institution to satisfy your bond, to certificate your bond, or you know that you don't need all of those third parties.
Mention the innate feeling. You can have friends
you can have friends,
right? But when you have that particular
when that
person,
innate feeling comes, and it's different. It's a
It's
feeling
so
that
different.
is exclusive to you that nobody can explain.
All three of us, okay, we are good friends. I am very, very close to you. I have that bond, that attachment.
Everything, yeah.
Would we call that marriage?
No.
Then it beats your explanation or your meaning of marriage.
Because for marriage is an institution. Don't get it wrong. Marriage is an institution created by God. Bottom line. That one is the basic foundation. It is an institution on its own, created by God. It is we humans who have made it very porous in so many ways, by way of the divorce, by way of, I was talking about when people are in a relationship, like we're talking about a relation leading to commitment. It is not every relationship that is likely to lead to marriage. You know why? Because maybe at the beginning, at some level, we bonded. But going forward, as we, get to know each other deeper, there are some things that are not compatible. We cannot stand.
So in essence,
at that point, that is what we call red flags. You are not supposed to move to the next step. But unfortunately, Hey, I've done. My wedding invitation cards. Charlie, we are friend of 6. Charlie, everybody go is my thing. I think I maybe and I saw this one, and so I want out. I want to hold on. You I want that ring. Your friends would even go like, oh, you two, it's a you don't know, waited for too long. They'll influence you and say things, and then you push yourself in. Today, people go in, and 3 months they are out. Because of some of these things. Not that they didn't know, no, they didn't see. Because, no, Charlie, society. So that is our problem. Society has made the whole marriage thing something else for us.
I'm not confused.
She's not. No, I'm not. I don't have to convince you.
She doesn't have to, and she can't convince
And I can't convince you because that's your stand. But the point is that not
my stance per se, but my understanding of marriage.
So that's what I'm saying.
In
Don't
itself,
worry.
I think for me,
you get there.
For me, I think marriage is about responsibility. Responsibility.
She says you don't want to get married.
That's one point. Actually, I don't really fancy marriage. Not that I have anything against marriage.
Sure.
But then I think, from my understanding of the concept and the whole thing of marriage is about responsibility.
Sure.
You want to have that friendship, that connection, that bond, but then you want certain degree of responsibility, certain degree of accountability. But I think it's something that you yourself and whoever you relate with, you can actually develop. You don't necessarily need a third party or somebody to come and define your means or your form of accountability. We can be committed and accountable to each other. You may have responsible adults or certain people that you can look up to that you find reasonable and wise enough that because I have friends, sometimes I get issues with them. They also do. But then we have certain people or certain elderly people that can sometimes come into the whole issue. They advise, come on, you're supposed to be like this. Of course, the Christianity aspect is there. You revere God, the Bible, and all of that. So for me, I think the whole marriage thing.
So if you are worried about the ceremony, you are worried about the ceremony.
No.
The fact that we call it marriage.
Not the fact that we call it marriage. Okay.
I think in actual sense,
because I think what makes marriage is the accountability part.
Which is all part of it.
Exactly, but for the accountability part, you can have it in friendships as well.
Yes,
we are friends. We are accountable to each other.
I can be doing all the time.
No, exactly. So that's also another thing. Humans are fickle. Today I'm here. Tomorrow I have a whole new, emotions, a whole new mindset. We are evolving, every now and then.
Yeah.
Probably the rate at which or the pace at which you are evolving, the other party is not actually moving in that pace with you. So sometimes you outgrow the other person. Another time, anybody can outgrow the other person.
Sure.
And so then it becomes a hassle. You have to try and get in tune with me or try to compromise.
That is why
companionship, friendship, you talk and understand each other.
Yeah. So I think the whole exclusivity thing is not working because humans as we are, we have insatiable needs and desires. So why not just live freely? Of course, with a conscience, live freely. With the world is large, a lot of people to experience, to explore.
Okay, let me get you right there. A lot of people to experience and explore. Are you going to
wait?
Are you going to explore every people on
when I say explore, not sexually explore, of course, but then get to know people.
You can do that with your partner.
But that is a normal everyday life. As you grow up, you get to know people.
Restrict yourself to one person. Why would you want to confine yourself to one person?
The man and the woman leave their parents
and cleave one.
For what purpose?
Sweetheart.
For what purpose?
For the purpose of continuing God's work. God says we should together multiply. And you see the multiply. Wait.
Have to to multiply.
That is where you get it wrong. The multiply. Let me show you. No. You are talking about. Hold it. You people are just the multiply and the fruitful. Your mind is on one thing.
No, my
sex
mind is not.
And babies. No.
My mind.
That is not. It's a whole dimension in itself.
You know, the reason why I don't want to confine these things to marriage. Every relationship, friendship, union, partnership, whatever bond, has a purpose.
Definitely, it has a
All
purpose.
three of us has a purpose in each other's life.
Exactly.
We don't necessarily have to be married to really
not at all.
That. You understand?
Don't worry, if you maybe the three of us must be.
Oh, that'd be nice, actually. Explore. Test the waters.
I got a problem.
But then, you see, you are married.
Yes, very married.
God bless you.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. You can establish a company with your husband. You can build a legacy with your husband.
Sure.
We can do the same.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily have to be married. Honestly, I think it's about people just understanding life and then understanding that we as humans, if God wants us to multiply for us, the children aspect is there, but He also wants us to make things better.
Sure.
Make our lives easier. Use what He gave us to establish a lot of things. Do so many, many wonderful, amazing things to honor Him.
So the way you would want to be intimate with that one person, there is no way
Preach on.
you can have that kind of
you
can have that kind of
intimacy.
You can't.
No.
Intimacy is on a different level. That's why I said it's innate. When you get there, you can have a level of a level.
You know, there are
intimacy
married people
who are not intimate.
Exactly.
Because
that defies the marriage. This marriage thing.
So that is where the issues of divorce and blah blah will come in, because they have not gotten the foundation and some of the things. So that is it. That's why I said that this is how God expected the institution to go, to flow. But we have twisted it and used that human wisdom. So where I get you coming in is exactly that. People are married, but they are not intimate. They are not intimate, and yes, they are defined that. They are not intimate because they did not do, or they have not followed what the institution expects of them to follow.
Let me ask this. What does the institution expect?
The institution expects that you are intimate with your partner. You grow together. You love. You forgive. So many things is expected of you.
Basic human coexistence.
Basic human coexistence. But that, like I said, that is on a different level. Marriage intimacy is on a different level, other than your normal intimacy that you are. And that's why I said that some of the things you need to get there to understand.
Okay. I need to get married. Maybe I have to do that. Maybe I have to get married for maybe 5 years is too much. Maybe 3 years. Maybe 3 years to see.
Contract.
Or maybe 5. Probably that would be a contract. Just to but then of course contract, but with a free mind, just to explain and see this whole institution thing and all of that.
The only thing I can tell you is that be sure that as you want to go in, you know this is the purpose or the purpose
for which you're going in.
What is your mindset? A mindset for going in. So if your mindset, is to explore. You go in, and if opportunity presents itself for you to explore, you will explore beyond exploration.
Oh, you're getting my exploration in
no. No, I'm not getting a wrong line. That's why you may explore beyond exploration. But if your idea is to explore because, look, you want to achieve things like build a company, legacy stuff, you are able, and your husband agrees with you, and the two of you are able to, you can do it. It's part of the exploration. Now, question I would ask you then is, when those things have been achieved, what's next? Because if that bond and that intimacy is not there, look, as for goals, you can set them. You clear. I clear my client. Like you said, we are human, we are insatiable. If you clear all of those goals, which, I mean, depending on how you look at it and how you go, but you definitely would clear. Then what? Are you saying after those goals as time goes on? But is it just about setting those goals, achieving materialistic things, and then nothing else? There has to be some bonding and intimacy to make, or because you can do all of that, and everything will still come crumbling down.